So I've been kind of avoiding the garden the last few days. It's either been almost 100 degrees or thunderstorming. I think we've had 3 thunderstorms in the last 24 hours, which means there's a lot of maintenance that needs to be done. We actually have another thunderstorm that's supposed to come later tonight, so I'm going to try to get as much maintenance as I can done in the next hour or so. So let me show you what needs to be done. So this is what we're looking like right now. A few things have been knocked over from the thunderstorms. One plant over there, I actually had one of the branches of the zinnias get broken off, and now it's sitting in a vase, and we'll see if I can get the flowers to bloom on it. But essentially there's a lot of cleanup just from the storms, but then also general maintenance that I should have been doing in the last few days, but I just haven't been outside. So we can actually just go ahead and start with these. Just picking up the herbs that have fallen over. So basically just first things first, the herbs have been moved upright. There's currently a wasp taking advantage of the oregano. I need to trim some of these that I'm going to try to do this afternoon as well. They just become a bit overgrown. I don't actually know the last time that I trimmed the herbs, so definitely need to do that. There's another container that keeps falling over that I need to figure out what to do with. So I mentioned this before, but this is random seeds that I got on a birthday card, so I didn't know what they were. I threw them all into a container. That container became top heavy when the plants grew like 3.5 feet tall, so anytime there's a light breeze it topples over. So that's what I'm going to do now, is figure out where can I put this and prevent it from falling over. Okay, well this is by no means a permanent solution, but for now I'm just going to keep this container in the corner, and I've put 2 of the a little bit heavier pots that I have up against it. We'll see if that keeps it upright. If not, then I'll just add some rocks or something into the pots, or some dirt, just to try to keep it a little bit more steady. But hopefully I'll figure out a longer term solution for this in the next day or two. Next thing I have to do is a bunch of deadheading, so some dahlias, sunflowers. I actually ended up pulling petunias from here. They were pretty heavily infected with budworms, and since it's a bit later in the summer, I want to get this area ready for fall planting anyway. So I decided to pull those. I'm going to trim up the super bells a little bit, deadhead some of the zinnias, take some of the taller ones for a bouquet, and then hopefully in the storm we have tonight, these won't be so top heavy either. So let's go ahead and start doing some deadheading. So I was over here to check on the melon plants, and I basically kind of jostled them a little bit, and a bunch of cucumber beetles flew out. So I'm going to try to treat it. I might actually have to pull the honeydew plant here, because this one's looking like it's almost dead anyway. Cantaloupe is looking a bit better, but I'll kind of, I don't know, assess and see what I think. So it actually wasn't that difficult of a decision after all. Basically, every vine that I thought was a healthy looking vine of the honeydew was a vine from the cantaloupe that was trailing over. So I removed the honeydew and I cut off the 3 melons. We'll see if any of them are ripe. And then this one I'm going to spray this evening. And then hopefully I can get this cantaloupe ripe, and then there's a few other little cantaloupes forming as well. So we'll keep our fingers crossed. And I just wanted to show off the melon. So it's called the, I believe, Snow Leopard Honeydew. I got the seeds from Johnny's Seed. They're really pretty. I don't necessarily really enjoy the taste of honeydew, but I'm going to see if I like it better. Again, assuming these are ripe, I'm getting them straight from the garden. I still have 2 more of these plants, one in the main garden, one in the back. So I'm hoping I can get some more fruit from those. So I'm going to take a quick break and probably start again later this evening. It's just too hot right now, and I feel like I'm competing with too many bees and wasps that are apparently working the same hours as I do in the garden. But one last thing I did is I just staked this sunflower. I'm hoping that's going to be tall enough to keep it upright, but I think because this one is in this raised bed here, it's a little bit taller than the ones that are on the pots on the ground. It was definitely swaying much more during the storm yesterday, so I just wanted to stake it and give it a little bit more support. So you see there, it definitely doesn't wobble as much as it did before. So I'll see you a little bit later in the day when it's hopefully cooler. All right, so it's 7 o'clock now. It's slightly cooler than it was, but still pretty humid. But I think most of the bees and wasps have left for the night, so I'm gonna get back to it. I still have a lot of marigolds back there I need to deadhead. I think I'm gonna fertilize a few of the flowers, although I might wait on that if it's supposed to rain again soon. I think there's some other things I need to harvest, but we'll figure it out as we go along. So this is my first year growing marigolds, so I don't know if this is normal, but a lot of them have really thin stems, and so when the blooms get really big, they start to flop over. So I'm going to deadhead these, some back there that are clearly dead and turning brown, and then kind of whatever else I can reach that looks like it's near the end of its life. I feel like it's about to storm at any second, but I deadheaded as many of the marigolds as I could reach. I also harvested the ripe cherry tomatoes, cut some gomphrena that I'm going to dry. I really loved the gomphrena. I mean, you can deadhead it and then they just come back so quickly, so I'm definitely going to have that in the garden next year. But now what I need to do is trim some herbs. You can see it's been quite a while since I've taken anything off the sage, so I'm going to trim up. I have chocolate mint, this variegated sage, lavender, thyme, rosemary, and then oregano that I'm going to get through as many as I can before it starts to downpour. All right, here's what I harvested. So I have a basket full of herbs that I'm going to dry, the gomphrena that I cut, and even though these still look pretty full, they look much better than they did before. So we are all cleaned up for the night, and one last thing I wanted to quickly show is the 2 strawberry plants I propagated. So I took 2 runners from this main plant, propped them into the soil, kept them consistently moist, and then a couple days ago I actually finally cut the runner from the main plant, and they're thriving on their own. So it was about, like I said, 3 to 4 weeks that I let them grow and propagate in the soil connected to the plant, and then I went ahead and cut the runner. So now I can move each of these pots freely around the deck. But other than that, we're looking pretty good as we close out the evening. I do have a few more things to do. I was going to fertilize some plants, and then I was also going to spray for pests, but since it's going to rain and basically wash away all of that work, I'm going to wait until tomorrow. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.